しだ。こんな私を支えてくれたこの世界へ、ラスタロッテへ、そして次の私へ。
Man. I don't know if it's just the introduction of this Nagomi character or what. This episode sucked as well. Like, I just do not care about this Nagomi character. Like, I don't mind her introduction. I think she's adorable. I think she's cute. I think that, you know, she has a fascination with 2D boys or whatever, and she wants to be a 2D girl. I find it interesting that in Masamune or Akamura, whatever you want to call him, that she saw this character that she really loves, and she was like, oh, maybe my 2D love is being brought to 3D life or something like that. I don't mind that plot line of like maybe she finds him, makes him cosplay that character she likes, maybe she falls in love again. I don't mind that, but like last episode and this episode, well, let me say this. I think Mayuri, the teacher, like, oh my God, like she is thick. Like I even got to do a thick. Like she's thick. Like I was like, God damn. Ooh. Like the teacher is fine. Outside of that though, like I really feel like last episode, I don't want to talk about it too much because, you know, I talked about it. Go watch my episode 9 review. But I really felt like they just like really stretched it out. And then they really had something that was just so silly. Ririsa loves to cosplay. And you have this Nagomi girl that basically just talked a little bit of smack that just ruined her whole life and made her cry and boo-hoo. And Masamune had to play the hero. And he had to yell at her and, you know, put her in her place and just dumb. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just a one-off, one-episode thing. But then we had all Nagomi this episode, and it was all about how she needs to find the spirit of cosplay again, and she needs to remember what it's like to have fun, and she used to be a fatty McTatty, and now she's, the perfect cosplay girl or whatever, and she was scary looking before and she put in 3 years of work and whatever. It's like, I just don't care. Like the only ones I really care about is Mikari, who has been fucking MIA, okay? Like they introduced this character, this childhood love interest that's just been MIA. She's been gone. She's just been disappeared. She's just been a non-entity, a non-factor. And they're going to swoop her ass back in later for whatever, and make me try and care again. But they've just removed her from the picture. And then it's like, okay, Ririsa and Masamune are getting closer. Okay, cool. But then you're going to introduce all this extra fluff around that, And then you're going to give you a whole episode just focused on this Nagomi chick. And the fact that she originally cosplayed a character because she was fat and ugly. There's no way to sugarcoat it. She was fat and ugly, and she was scared that her 2D boyfriend, in her mind at least, would be disgusted with her. So she put in all this work, and then she first cosplay his love interest in whatever game or whatever Otome game, whatever she plays. And she crushed it. And then for whatever reason, she just went the wrong direction with cosplay. And then the show is going to give us this over-exaggerated moment of, I get cosplay is big, but to have a crowd of like a few 100,000, like 1,000 people, like, okay, like I get that they have pictures and stuff. My Dress Up Darling has done it before, right? Where, they do your favorite cosplayer, they will have a little line and maybe they'll have a little booth and they'll get some pictures done, but it won't be like they won't be like they're an NBA game or something, for some rando person, you know what I mean? And then, Mayuri had a crazy thing and she's just standing there looking thick. And then you had our girl Ririsa come out and like, I don't know. It was fine. Like it was fine, but it was pretty boring. And I think that's where I'm at right now. It's like, what happened? Like, I thought this was like top tier for shows, and then it just took this turn. And I'm hoping that we turn our way out of it and we get back out, you know, because this is scheduled for 24 episodes. So there's a lot of runway, and I understand why they're elongating and they're kind of getting as much as of each episode out that they can, because they have this big runway to fill. But they have this big runway to fill. But when shows have that big runway, man, it's like what happened with a couple of cuckoos. They just waste the shit out of your time, and then they have a bullshit ass ending still that just leaves you like, what was that? Hopefully that's not what happens here. Hopefully, you know, maybe by episode 14, maybe we get a date, a kiss, maybe we get some let me get some fucking, I don't know. Let me get just something. You know, for all this time that we're investing. I think that's been my biggest thing this season with not just 2.5, but like a lot of shows is like, let us, the viewer, let us get something out of our time investment. Like, as we're investing our time into watching a show. And last week and yesterday, I watched a different show, and I had asked my viewers, you know, I had asked you guys, like, you know, when it comes to shows that maybe aren't really hitting the right, like, it's just not really that good, but you're 10, 11 episodes in, what do? Do you drop it? You know, and a lot of you guys were telling me, you know, at least on the other video, a lot of you guys / they who answered were telling me like, yeah, you know, I'm just pretty bullish about like, if I'm watching something, I'm going to see it to the end. And I get that mentality. And it's like, for all those folks that just stick it to the end, like, give us something, you know what I mean? And when you're trying to depict a romance anime or harem anime, like, I think this show is like harem and romance or something. Like, give us the romance, give us the harem, you know what I mean? Like, give us that, you know? Anyways, this episode, I don't want to rag too much on that. I don't want to go too far off, you know, left or right or whatever. But this episode was fine. You know, we'll see what happens next episode. And maybe we'll get back to the main plot, which was them pursuing something to keep the manga club open, and Mayuri keeping her in the loop. And maybe Mikari would come back in to help. And yeah, I guess we'll just see where we go from here. But my worry is they're going to continue to introduce new chicks. Like, they're going to introduce these new girls, and we're just never going to get something seen all the way through, because they're going to introduce another girl. They introduce Mayuri, or they introduce Mikari. Love her. Best girl. Number one boo boo. They introduced Mikari, then they introduced Mayuri, now they introduced Nagomi. And my fear is that they're not going to introduce some other character, and then maybe another character. And then by that time, it's 24 episodes. We're like, shit, we ain't got nothing. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Have a fantastic weekend. You're the best for making this part of the video. Love y'all. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.